Well, hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Fin to the Woods podcast. This is very exciting. I'm currently sat under a duvet in my bedroom recording this because we have terrible sound in my house currently. But yes, welcome. If you know me already from elsewhere, whether that's real life or from TikTok, hello. And if you don't know me and you've just stumbled across this, hello as well. In this first kind of episode of the podcast, I just kind of want to take you through me as a person, my background, what I'm doing, what I've done, the point of the podcast, what I want to achieve on it really, and where else you can find me online. Let's start off with the most important fact about me, that my real name is Finian Hackett, not Fin to the Woods, funnily enough. I am 19 years old, I come from the south of England, and I am currently studying at the Guildford School of Acting in Guildford, funnily enough. But I am studying theatre production, not anything performing wise, but theatre production basically entails all the technical arts, so sound, stage management, lighting, construction, video, everything really. GSA is a fabulous school. It's so good, and the talent there, oh my god, across all the courses there. So acting, muso, acting, musical theatre, it's ridiculous, and so many of the recent graduates have gone on to do amazing things and are opening in multiple shows in the West End and doing cruises and this, that and the other, and it's so fantastic that everyone's going on to do such brilliant things. But yeah, it's quite an honour to go to such a prestigious drama school, and one that's very highly respected across the world really. But yeah, I'm having a whale of a time. I'm about to start rehearsals for new shows for the autumn, and yeah, it's great. It's no surprise that I'm doing what I'm doing at university because my family is extremely theatrical. I've grown up in a very theatrical household and environment really, and I've performed in many amateur productions and this, that and the other over the last 15 years really. My mum and my dad met doing a production of Guys and Dolls in my hometown, so it kind of started off there really. And throughout my family, my mum and my stepdad run a drama school together and a theatre. My dad directs and stars in many local productions. My auntie does theatre. My step family all are involved in theatre and have their own theatre company. My sister performs. My grandparents on multiple sides are all involved in theatre too. I'm sorry if I've missed any relatives off, but literally everyone in my family is involved in some way. So I couldn't really avoid it, and if I did, I think I'd probably be shunned by the family. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without them, and I do thank them very much for that, and always being very supportive. So if you're listening, family, thank you very much. But as I said, I've performed myself on many occasions. I've done many amateur shows and concerts and this, that and the other. My favourite one to drop in there is that I played Tiny Tim in the UK tour of Scrooge when it came to my hometown. I literally only did it for a week, but I bring it up every time anyone asks me what I've done because it was quite fun. Even though Tommy Steele was weird, it was quite fun. I also played Chip in an amateur production of Beauty and the Beast that year, and I've never felt so uncomfortable in a costume in my life. Well, it wasn't really a costume, it was just kind of a trolley really. But my joyous love for musical theatre has come from my family and my background and what I've grown up in because, like I said, I couldn't avoid it. And I grew up knowing so many different shows and so many random shows that it kind of all sunk in and it just kind of stayed there. So let's get into why I'm doing this podcast. So a couple of years ago, I started my TikTok account. And I talked about musical theatre, posted clips from musicals and other theatre-related things. And it's just kind of grown and grown and grown. And I now, at time of recording, have just under 56,000 followers, which is literally insane. Ridiculously insane. And I feel very lucky to have that and have a platform on there to just kind of spout all my musical theatre stuff. And people actually listen to me. I wanted to do something else apart from TikTok to kind of reach a wider audience and reach new people. So I thought a podcast was the best way to do that. And my plan for this podcast is to delve into the history and all the random little nitty-gritty facts about theatre and specific people and specific venues, and just really delve into it and have fun with it and hopefully make people learn a few new things. I love a Broadway diva. I mean, who doesn't? So they're probably going to feature quite heavily the likes of Audra McDonald and Angela Lansbury and Patti LuPone and Bernadette Peters, because they've had such illustrious careers. They deserve their own episode, really. Same goes for the likes of Sondheim and Jerry Herman and Rodgers and Hammerstein and Jason Robert Brown and all those fantastic composers who have created such wonderful works that we all know and love. Let's delve into their history a bit more too. The same goes for all these historic venues like the London Palladium and the Theatre Royal Drury Lane and all these big Broadway theatres that no longer exist because they were knocked down for whatever reason. I want to look into those and kind of explore their history as well. It's going to be a bit of everything, and I'm going to focus each episode on a different thing, so if that certain subject doesn't really interest you, don't listen to it. But if there is a certain subject that does interest you, have a listen and see if you learn anything new. But yeah, the main aim is for it to be fun and interesting and enjoyable for everyone who's listening. My first episode next week is going to be about the wonderful Audra McDonald, who I saw for the first time in concert this week, and she was amazing. So I thought my first episode would be dedicated to the woman who has won the most Tonys out of any performer in Tonys history. Let me quickly tell you about where else you can find me too. If you search Finn to the Woods on Google, I will come up, or Finian Hackett, because my name is quite rare. But I have my YouTube, my Twitter, my TikTok, my blog, which is www.fintothewoods.com, my Spotify, and obviously now my podcast too. So you can find me everywhere, basically, which might get a bit annoying if I'm everywhere, but you know. But yeah, thank you for listening to my first little episode, my introductory episode. And I hope you listen to future episodes and enjoy what I'm going to be putting out here on this podcast. But yes, that is the end of the first episode of the Finn to the Woods podcast.